Star Wars is a pretty popular thing. You already know everything about it, so I won't get into too much detail, but the one movie in particular, The Phantom Menace, has some mixed reactions. A lot of us with childhood nostalgia, me included, really liked it and thought it was awesome, and some, with fair points, say that it wasn't really the best. Yeah, but now, with the existence of the not-so-very-popular sequel trilogy, more and more people are starting to become more grateful on how good they had it back then with the prequels. But the one thing that really stood out in this movie was pod racing. Now, this whole sequence in the movie was awesome! A tiny little pod being hauled by two spaceship engines, going Mach Jesus throughout the desert, and having a plot armor-heavy 9-year-old drive one of these things is pretty awesome as well.
Being in a spacecraft, I'm like, that's my pod?
This kid is Darth Vader, by the way, and the brutal engine sounds of the pod racers is another awesome thing. It's a giant blender of sounds from real-life racing machines and whatever George Lucas had in his studios filled with random crap. Like in one instance, they sound like a V8 starting up, and then mix in the sounds of an electric toothbrush on top of that. And Anakin's pod is the best sounding one. Some would say that it sounds like a Formula 1 car, but to me, I'm getting a lot of Mazda 787 vibes from this. But also, did you know that they made video games about pod racing? They made a game called Star Wars Racer for the Nintendo 64, which was pretty cool. But you came here to see Star Wars Racer Revenge, dude. Now that's the game that we're gonna be talking about. And this game has some lore to it. Well, yeah, it's a Star Wars game. It always has to have at least 60 pages of extreme details and everything. So the game takes place 8 years after The Phantom Menace, and this guy, Sebulba, is still mega pissed at his old racing rival, Anakin Skywalker. And for some reason, Anakin decided to take a break from being a Jedi and being extremely horny towards Natalie Portman.
I don't like sand.
And he got back to his old racing hobby in pod racing. Cause he fucking can, that's why. But anyways, let's get on to this game already. So once you boot up the game, you select the tournament mode, and here you have a wide selection of drivers to choose from, like Darth Vader, an alien giraffe, a walking crocodile, and all these weirdos here. But because of plot armor, let's go with Hayden Christensen.
Let's go. This is gonna be wizard.
And so we begin our pod racing career at Mos Espa, Tatooine. So here we are, getting a bunch of blurry drone shots of the track, and we line up at the grid, ready to fuck some shit up. And once the race gets going, you'll immediately realize how contact heavy pod racing is. And then we make our way in the front of the pack, battling with the leaders, bouncing our booty on a bunch of rocks, and get back to crashing into the other drivers. And another feature you'll notice in this game is boosting. That's right, all the pod racers are fitted with a giant bottle of self-refueling nitrous. But don't take the boosting for granted, because if you exploit and boost way too much, this will happen. Anakin is fucking dead.
How did my father die?
Well, his engine's overheated, and he fucked it into the barriers at turn 11. But on your second attempt, you fly right past the entire field, make some epic jumps here and there, and get a real good distance from the guy in second, and win your very first pod race.
Our winner is Anakin Skywalker!
And your prize for winning the race? Well, you get 2,200 True Guts. And it turns out, I got the 3-lap time record. And what is my name? Skadoodle No Skedaddle.
This is outrageous.
But apparently, I am still 3 seconds slower than Anakin in the same machinery. And after that, you get to see Watto, and with your prize cash, you get to spend it all on upgrade parts for your pod racer.
Okay, let's test the pirate ship ride now that we put WD-40 on the wheels.
But after you get your upgrades in, the next race is at Soro Sub Facility. And apparently this whole track takes place in a bunch of factories that's sitting on a planet filled with toxic gas apparently. So everyone lines up at the grid and fucking launches to Kingdom Hell, bumping and crashing into each other. And somehow we immediately climb up to first place. Then we make our way into the tubes of hell and drive about like we're Hot Wheels cars. And since I'm playing as Anakin, I figured I should probably score some Darth Vader points as well. So the guy that's in second trying to pass me, he's gonna die. I just keep bumping and crashing into him, slowly draining his health like a goddamn psycho.
And I slaughtered them like animals.
But because of all that crashing, it drained a good chunk of health from my engines. And to pay the price of road rage, you get to listen to obnoxious beeping noises. But fear not, because I discovered that the L2 button repairs your engines. Now my dumbass thought you were supposed to spam the button, but no. You can just hold it down and the engines will repair by themselves. And soon enough, you'll be back to killing all the other drivers on the grid. Who would have thought that Anakin's first exposure to the dark side was road rage?
You underestimate my power!
But anyways, after a bit, you win the race, and as a bonus prize for killing all the other drivers, you get extra money. And then you spend all of that money on upgrades, and yeah, you get the point. You get to drive 2 more races, kill some more drivers, win all of the races, and win your very first pod racing championship. And at some point, you get tired of playing as Anakin.
I hate them!
And then you can start a new career with a different character, like Clegg Holdfast, and then you repeat the same process as you were doing with all the other characters. Type shit, I guess. You win a bunch of races, score a ton of money, spend it all on upgrades, literally save billions of lives in the entire galaxy.
Oh, look at that.
And yep, that's what Star Wars Racer Revenge is all about. It's quite interesting that a small blip in the vast Star Wars universe at least had some special attention. And overall, this game is giving a lot of F-Zero vibes. Another kick-ass game. Now, the fact that this is a racing game, can you imagine if John Tanner was slapped into the Star Wars universe? That would be weird as hell.
This is Tanner. I got the Imperial Star Destroyer in my sights. I am making my descent. Here goes nothing. Another happy landing.
We got a rebel intruder.
Holy butt nuggets, take cover. Always drink your blue milk.
We are under attack. This is not a drill. Scramble reinforcements.
Now, holy crap.
Stuck on this rebel scum.
Damn it, not again. Run away. Oh yeah, forgot I had this. Well, that was underwhelming.
We meet at last, John Tanner.
Oh look, it's the big man himself, Anakin Skywalker.
The fuck you just call me, you little shit? Your power's a weak wheel, man.
Oh crap. Oh yeah, forgot I could do this. Well, that was easy. Now where can I find a TIE fighter in this place?
Papa Gene's gonna kill me.